Good morning, baseball fans, and welcome to the Gus here in Waupun, Wisconsin for the Central Plains Division II American Legion tournament here. We're getting ready for the second game in pool play. You'll notice that it's very, very overcast, and we're going to be running into some rain. Both teams are taking their warm-ups on the field real quick. As soon as the diamond is ready and the umpires are ready, we're going to get ready to roll here and start to try and avoid as much of a rain delay as possible. We are running already behind schedule. We thought that we started on time, and the last game had a couple of long innings, and unfortunately, so we're running behind schedule. So we will be ready to roll here shortly from the Gus in Waupun, and we're going to do our best to get through, hopefully without any issues and the rain coming in, at least through this game, and see what happens. So we're getting ready for first pitch. I am going to leave the camera on here, and I'm going to run and take a break. So, again, make sure here's the opening scene that we're taking. Valley City Post 60 is going to be taking on Kaukauna Post 41. And please remember that we want you to be posting in the comments. Wahpeton in the last game has done a fantastic job posting in the YouTube comments, and we really want to hear from the fans out there, who you're cheering for, who your favorite players are. Tell us a little bit about those players, and we'll be ready to roll with the broadcast, and that really helps us make it interactive, so we really appreciate anything that you can share with us. Tell us even a little bit about your town. We were talking a lot about Wahpeton. I don't know hardly anything about Valley City. I do know a little bit about Kaukauna, so share what you know a little bit about your city, and bring that pride here into the broadcast. So we'll be back here shortly with the broadcast for game number 2 here at the Gus in Waupun.
Hello folks, we were just getting ready to start game 2, and it'll be between Valley City Post 60 Royals against Kaukauna Angels. Right now it looks like Valley City is the home team, and they will be taking the field. We'll try to kind of play it by ear. I got the starting lineups up here, and we'll get those things in the book as we go. But anyway, Valley City, it'll be Kaukauna, like I said, visiting team. And the starting lineup, leading things off, will be second baseman, number 2, Vandahay. And then batting second, playing center field, at number 6, Cody Gaber. Number 1 in catching, Charlie Black will be batting third. Batting fourth and playing third base, number 21, Xander. And then batting fifth, playing shortstop, Matthew Bortle. Number 10, batting sixth, right field, Kyle Springstrow, number 16. Batting seventh, playing first base, will be Owen Halls, number 28. Designated hitter will be number 7, Jordan Van Cowenberg. He'll be the designated hitter for the pitcher, number 14, Derek Hertzfeld. And batting ninth will be Owen, playing left field, number 4. Sorry, I'm not pronouncing last names very good right now. I'm just trying to look at these little sheets right here, and some of the names and so forth aren't popping up. But anyway, on the mound for Valley City Poach 60 will be Broden Muskie, number 9. I got the lineups right here, so I'll write them in as we go. Like I say, sorry for the hesitancy here or whatever. We were just trying to get some things done in between innings. So here we go. Vandehay will be leading things off for the Kaukauna Angels. Kaukauna coming off a victory yesterday. A one-hitter actually pitched by Kyle Springstrow yesterday. Complete game, one-hitter. First pitch is a strike by Muskie. Next pitch coming from Broden is a swing and a miss, strike 2. Vandehay down 0-2. Start quickly.
Little overcast here. My computer says 74 degrees with rain coming. Ooh, that catcher really set up outside. If he would have stayed plates there, that might have been a strike, because it looked like it caught the outside edge, but set up way out in the other batter's box.
Catchers usually, sometimes when you're heading to count, you'll set up outside or set up inside, as Vandehay drops a base hit into right field to start things off. So Gannon Vandehay leads things off with the base hit. Brings up Cody Gaber, the center fielder, number 6.
Once again, we got the cameras rolling here for best that we can to give you the views and make you feel like you are here.
And Gaber on the first pitch grounds to the shortstop, flips it over to the second baseman, but they cannot get Gaber in time as Gaber grounds into the fielder's choice. So one down here in the top of the first. Kaukauna Angels are your visiting team. Valley City, home team.
Glad to see some of the people posting here in YouTube do the same thing on Facebook, so let's follow that up. Go Kaukauna. Good luck, Owen Halls, from one first baseman to another. This comes from good times.
Brings up Charlie Black, the catcher, yesterday. Hit a rope home run over the left field fence. Basically just backlegged that thing and got that thing was out of here in about 2.5 seconds. Curveball strike from Muskie.
Kay Stanford, also from Valley City, saying go Royals and good luck to your special grandsons, Devin and Alex. Proud of both of you. They love those types of things, so please make sure that you continue to share them as players go back and watch.
And Charlie Black flies out to right field for out number 2. Gaber able to get back. He was taking off on the pitch.
So again, you got first base camera, third base camera. Third base has got a little bit darker view.
Up number 21, Xander Hippis, the third baseman.
And then you've got your home base camera here that try to make sure that everybody can see it.
Fouls the first pitch straight back. Count now 0-1 to Xander. Also a shout out to Janelle Richmond, who's rooting for her Valley City Royals.
Turn off our wireless.
And Xander with a shot to left center. Gets by the center fielder. They're going to send the runner and miss the cutoff. And Xander Hippis with a single and then advances on the air as the ball goes underneath the glove of the center fielder of Valley City, Tate Sufcool.
Scores the first run for Kaukauna.
So Charlie Gabe were able to come all the way around from first on that play.
Runner at second base for Kaukauna. That one's going to get past. The runner's going to advance all the way over to third. Carly Baumgartner says, "Good luck, Valley City. We're cheering you on from Brewer Lake again today. Glad to have you with us. We really appreciate you. I'm glad that you were able to jump on the live stream and see what's taking place."
Now batting, though, is Matt Bartell, the shortstop. And as Jeff said, pitch gets by the catcher, Joe Cummings. Kind of a rare situation. Joe was pretty solid backstop back there from what I saw yesterday. Count now 1-1. Muskie with the fastball right down the middle, swung and missed. Count now 1-2. As Hippus retreats back to third base.
Kaukauna jumping out right away to a 1-0 lead. 2 outs here from the Gus. Here's the pitch.
Outside, gets away from Cummings, but the runner will not attempt to come home. Cummings able to pounce on it quickly. Diane Muskie, pitcher's relatives here. Yep, Grandpa and Grandma Muskie, they're cheering for you. They love you, number 9. Go Royals.
Good block there by the catcher.
Didn't say nothing like being a grandparent. I have a grandson that just turned 2 last week.
I thought you were too young to have grandchildren.
Yeah, I'm 53, so.
Yeah, too young.
Full count as Bartell fouls this one straight back. So full count, 2 outs. Payoff pitch coming from Muskie. Callie Carpenter says good luck to the Royals. And this one gets by. And even though Bartell reaches on the base on balls, Hippus will score on that pass ball.
Great to hear Valley City representing themselves out there on the social media, so continue to keep those posts going. Now we just had to make sure we can get that third out here as Kaukauna pushes 1 run across on the wild pitch.
Brings up Kyle Springstrow, who pitched a great game yesterday. He's now in right field for today's game. 1 hitter yesterday. So that's why his right arm's a little longer than his left arm today. He threw the maximum 105 pitches. As he hits a shot to the opposite field to right. And the right fielder able to track that down. Alex Thornton, and that ends the Kaukauna half of the first. They bring across 2 runs on 2 hits. There was 1 left, and at the end of 1/2 innings, the Kaukauna Angels 2 and Valley City Royals coming to bat.
Beverly Van Oosting, good luck to Royals, watching and cheering from West Fargo. So again, tell us a little bit about your city as well. I don't know much about Valley City. Are you aware of anything there?
Valley City, I think Steve.
City of the Bridges?
City of the Bridges, yes. Chippewa River or Chickawa or something like that river. The City of Bridges is what I remember from last night's broadcast.
Well, all right. We'd love to have that.
Is that the A door or the B? B. Okay. All right, it's the bottom of the first. Valley City coming in. Also, Deb Baumgartner-Nieseth says, good luck to Coach Chase Carpenter and the Royals from your mama and sister in Valley City. Have a stupendous game. And Kayla Mossett, Auntie Kayla, is watching you, Broden, number 9 for Valley City. Leading things off will be number 6, the shortstop, Ethan Miller. Also, our tournament director, Derek Stanky, came up to the booth. Looks like we got a line of storms coming. Supposed to be here in the next 15 minutes. So there's a good chance that we're going to have a delay in the near future. If you're in the area or something around Waupun, they're opening up the high school so the kids can have a dry atmosphere as Miller pops this one straight up the silo. But our catcher, Charlie Block, not able to haul that one in. Did the right thing. He got the mask off, threw it aside, but that was pretty high pop up, and you know that breeze up there gets up there in the jet stream and plays some tricks on you. Curve ball in for a strike as Austin Armga calls that. Count now 1-2. Austin Armga, former basketball player at Michigan Tech University, and right now finance consultant at Edward D. Jones, one of our sponsors here in Waupun. Graduated Waupun High School with a 4.16 GPA, so a lot of the kids thought he had a full scholarship to Michigan Tech. I'm like, no, half of it was academic, the other half was athletics. So one thing that Austin was very good at was numbers and math. So yeah, I'm that old, I remember that. So anyway, 3-2 pitch to the leadoff hitter, Ethan Miller, and the next one's low and in, and he'll take first base. Free base, courtesy of the base on balls, brings up Alex Thornton, the right fielder. Made the last out in the top of the first inning. It's 2-0 Kaukauna right now. Valley City hoping to answer here in the bottom of the first. And a bunt attempt goes foul. Right idea as Ethan Miller was taking off. One of those where I know some teams, what they'll do is throw with the third baseman charging. Sometimes the shortstop falls asleep. Put the bunt attempt, third baseman charge, make the play at first, and the guy running to second will just keep on running and head to third. Thank you, Melissa Bitts, for cheering on her team as the sacrifice bunt is successful. Runner advances to second base. Thornton is thrown out at first base. For out number 1, it'll bring up number 3, Mitch Taylor, the second baseman. On deck is the designated hitter, Braxton Jorison. So Melissa Bauer Bitts, she's special shout out though to her favorite player, number 5, Adam Bitts. He's our left fielder for today. Outside corner called a strike. Derek Hertzfeld. Nothing overpowering like his counterpart from yesterday, Springstrow, but he's doing a good job of hitting the corners, not putting too many pitches across the middle. Ground ball to second base. They'll take that one over to first as the runner advances to third. So there's 2 down here in the bottom of the first. Brings up Braxton Jorison, the designated hitter. Gavin Gerhardt, the shortstop, on deck. Thanks, Melissa, for the compliments here. Like I say, we're just an amateur broadcast. We're going to do the best that we can. Right now, with the looming weather coming in, the other Jeff Sauer, the one that has the YouTube stream, Jeff's live stream, he's grabbing his outfield camera, because of course that's probably not going to survive the storm, because it's he's got that right above the fence underneath the scoreboard out there. So thank goodness for four-wheel power. Jeff was able to get out there quickly. He's already back up in the booth. 1-1 count right now to Jorison. This one in the dirt, and it gets away from block, and Valley City is on the board with their first run with the wild pitch. Count now 2-1 to Jorison. Your score now 2-1. Kaukauna leading Valley City early here in the bottom of the first with 2 down. Kaukauna, they were winners yesterday in a 7-0 game against LeSueur Henderson out of Minnesota. As I stated before, it was Springstrow with the one hitter. As the designated hitter, Braxton Jorison rips a hot grounder out to center field, and he's on base with 2 down. Brings up number 2, the shortstop, Gavin Gerhardt.
Just a couple of other shout-outs that I see coming across, so thank you very much. Janet, good luck, Valley City, cheering from Wilbaugh, Montana. And Karina Hemi, let's do this, Angels. So that's a cheer for Kaukauna with the orange hearts and the black hearts in their baseball. Love that. Go Devon, so proud of you, cheering from Valley City.
And I got Sheila Cummings over here, Royals rock. Go get them, guys. Special shout out to the son, the catcher, Joe Cummings, number 8. Love from mom and dad. So thank you, Sheila.
So I can tell you, and I just was out there, it's a big change when I walk outside. You can really feel the humidity, and it's really not much wind blowing. So it sounds like we're going to get some challenging weather that's going to come blowing through here.
And those that are out there listening on the broadcast, we have, your kids will be safe because we already are opening up our high school, which is right across the street from these ball diamonds. And if the weather gets challenging, as Jeff said, that we'll make sure that they have some shelter and a place to stay dry until the storm blows over. So
stretching all the way from Ripon to below Columbus, that's a good cell that's going to be coming through here. But again, as safety is our number one priority here, so we probably will be going off the air at the end of this inning, would be my guess. And we'll be off for until the storm goes on. I probably will leave the live stream going here just so you can see what's taking place with the weather. And I'll put it on the opening screen so you can see what's happening. Not using up any of my bandwidth. So, and it looks like the cell probably maybe will last for, what's it showing, for about maybe an hour or so. And then it looks like it clears behind that. But the front is right over the top of Waupun, so that's supposed to be an issue.
Gerhardt strikes out for the third out, but Valley City brings across 1 run on 1 hit. They leave 1, and at the end of 1 complete, it's Kaukauna 2 and Valley City 1. There seems to be a little bit of confusion, but it looks like everybody's kind of walking off the field. And
yep, so Austin Armgut letting everybody know they're going to put the tarp on, and we're going to go. So I'm going to go run and grab my other 2 cameras quick, and I'm going to let Jeff continue with the broadcast from here.
Sure.
Obviously, I can't control what most people do. You're more than welcome to sit in your vehicle. But
all right, our PA announcer, Scott Van Galen, instructing the crowd of what's going on. And right now they're going to get the tarp on the pitcher's mound. Kaukauna kids right now are just kind of getting things taken care of in the dugout, trying to straighten things out so they can prepare for the commute just across the street to the high school. So a little suspension in play anticipated with the weather coming. It's not one of those like we wanted or it happened yesterday where we had a cell that surprised us because the wind decided to shift and we thought everything was south of us, and then the wind shifted a little bit and all that stormy weather that we had yesterday decided to turn around its ugly head and create a delay of about 35, 40 minutes. So shout out for, it says Ryer Muskie, go Broden from your favorite brother. Um, Either I'm thinking you're the only brother Ryer or you're, one of many, and it's kind of in tongue in cheek. You're saying your favorite brother, so that's cool. Thanks, Ryer. Broden's a good one. Brent Johnson from Valley City, watching from Beaver Lake. Best of luck. And then go Devon. Proud of you, cheering from Valley City. I think that was mentioned already, but I appreciate the shout outs. Nancy Hagen saying good luck Valley City Royals. Grandma loves number 9 Broden Muskie. So it's good to have some grandpas and grandmas out there cheering on their grandkids. And the announcement was made that the kids will be heading to the high school and that they'll stay in their commons area because there is, obviously a bathroom right there. Commons obviously doubles up as our cafeteria. So like a lot of the newer high schools, you come in and there's this big open area full of tables and chairs and so forth. And that's where the kids will be. I know it can hold a lot of people because as one that used to referee basketball for a dozen years, when you do those youth tournaments on Saturdays, on the weekends, and so forth, it's definitely packed full of all different kids and so forth. So we shouldn't have any problem housing Kaukauna and Valley City and their fans, along with the Waupun volunteers and so forth. As you can see on the grounds right now, Bob Spanbauer and some Valley City coaches, along with Dino Stelsel, class of 1987, out there helping out. And then Derek Stanky, the head coach, he's out there without the hat and the gray shirt, getting the tools put in the back of the four-wheeler. So I see the city of Westby Youth Baseball Softball is watching. I'm sure a little bit of interest there. Westby, a good baseball program over there. Remember when my boys played Legion Ball, when we played the state tournament in the bowl over there in Viroqua. That was probably one of the most intense games I ever watched, and that was that one between Westby and Viroqua. And I'm trying to think who's the pitcher from Westby, Scott, that was pretty good, right-hander. And then I know Viroqua had Stalsberg back then. Stephanie Schultheis says, let's go Royal. Special shout-outs to number 1 and number 11, Isaiah and Jonah. Love from your mom and dad. Just letting you know, Mom and Dad, that we got your kids' safety in mind, and we already are making the trek over to the high school. I'll be sitting here up in the booth. I don't think I'm going to get too wet and so forth. I'll be just sitting here and kind of willing to chat with anybody that wants to that's on the stream here, with the YouTube stream and the Facebook stream. This delay, the anticipation, is probably looking to be about 45 minutes to an hour long, as cells stretching from a town nearby, Ripon, all the way to Columbus, which is near Madison. So Madison, obviously, an hour away from here to the east side, 50 minutes. But if it's stretching from basically here to Madison, and Madison an hour away in the storm, with how fast it's moving, like I say, we're probably looking at least a 1 hour delay. So if you're on the air, I won't be insulted if you hop off, so you got some chores that you need to do at home and so forth. But the other Jeff Sauer and I have been talking, we always like to hear little insights of, for example, Valley City, Royals post 60, goings on over there and so forth. And then, of course, Kaukauna, it's kind of here as weird. I'm used to seeing the orange and the black, but seeing the name Angels across the chest, obviously a different name for the Legion team. It's kind of like here in Waupun for our high school sports were the Warriors, but for Legion we call ourselves the Wild Turkeys. And I know may he rest in peace, Kevin DeBoer was an avid hunter, and he liked his deer, obviously, bow hunting and gun hunting. But I know his son Colin and his son Jordan, they love turkey hunting, and obviously those minor league teams, they have all these crazy names and so forth. So that's where we ended up with Post 210's Wild Turkeys. Um, so that's kind of an homage to the DeBoer family and their love for hunting. So I know my youngest son Eric had a chance to do some turkey hunting with Colin DeBoer one time, and he goes, he didn't realize how quiet and still you had to be for turkey hunting. He says that was a little bit more intense even than deer hunting. He says deer, it's mostly the smell that they catch up on, but turkey, even though he says they are very good at picking up movement. So he says when you're leaning up against that tree in that ground blind, he says he goes, didn't realize how still you had to be as they're coming into the decoys and so forth. So anyway, glad there's still 18 people on the Facebook listening in and so forth. We are in a delay, anticipating a large cell coming our way. We aren't looking at just some blue and green here. We're looking at some red and orange. So we are being proactive rather than reactive, and having these kids over at our high school, which is right across the street. Our school's about 20 years old. I always call it the Taj Mahal at East Lincoln. I teach 6th grade in our old high school, in an intermediate school, which is grades 2 through 6. And one of our old elementary schools in town is now a primary school that houses 4K through 1st grade. So that's what it is here in Waupun. And our high school now is a junior, senior high, and it houses grades 7 through 12. So our population, or our enrollment as far as our school here, is about between 560, 580. As Steve Winterhack in the last broadcast was saying, that we have 7 divisions for football. Division 1, obviously, for the big schools. Division 7, small. And Waupun basically has, if we make the playoffs for football, we'd be Division 4. For basketball, I believe there's 3 or 4 divisions, and I think we bounce between 2 and 3 for basketball. Baseball, I believe we're Division 2. There's 4 divisions for baseball now. So Waupun's had a lot of success for baseball. Spring season and Legion season included. If you come to the Gus, we pretty much have a big banner in the back of the announcing booth of our appearances at state and how many state championships we've won. So I know when I was in high school, we had a pretty successful baseball program, our Legion program, led by Hall of Fame coach Judge Sleevey, may he rest in peace. He's the one that kind of put Waupun on the map. And then we had a little bit of a hiatus, and then in came Kevin DeBoer, a 1987 alum of Waupun, and turned the program around and handed the reins over to Derek Stanke, and the success has continued. The last state championship, 2018, is Waupun defeated Jefferson in the WIA state tournament. And I know Legion, just recently we took 3rd at state, losing to Denmark, who eventually lost to Viroqua in the state championship. Then I think for Legion, I think we were state champs in 2019, recently. Yeah, 16, 18, 19. And I know we had a few state championships before that too. Because I know both my boys found success. I know my youngest son was a part of a state Legion championship too. When they won, when we were over in Nakusa, we defeated Denmark for the title there. Also do remember winning in Viroqua state championship. We ended up defeating Viroqua for the state title. Little backstory there. I know we were behind, and they brought in Stalsberg for the save. We ended up getting a few hits and came back and won, and they had to change the cake decorations. So those that are, if you're listening from Viroqua, you probably, if you were around then, you probably remember that. But needless to say, this Central Plains tournament we've hosted a couple times now in the last 4 years. We do enjoy doing this. I do appreciate the work that Jeff Sauer put in. He's with now, I don't know if we had 4 cameras the last time, did we? Yeah, okay, I think it was just 3. But now, like you say, he's got cameras on the first base side, third base side, and then on the outfield camera. And then, of course, the one behind home plate. And then he brings up the Central Plains tournaments from the past. And Waupun was runner-up in 2013, Pratt, Kansas, and in Millbank, South Dakota. I remember that. Eric, my son Eric, was part of those 2 teams. And Waupun ended up in 2016 getting the title over. No, they were just a host in 2016, and Viroqua ended up being the champ. And then we took 3rd as Glenwood, Lowry, Minnesota was the runner-up. Yeah. So we were runner-up in 2019 to Plato, Minnesota. So thing is it's kind of impressive that we got some teams that are here now, like La Crescent, Minnesota, who was the champion back in 2013. Wahpeton, North Dakota, was champs back in 2012. Trying to see if we can see any other ones. La Crescent was runner-up in 2018. Any cities? Yeah, I know Denmark, because they were the runner-up. They were invited to this tournament, but they had some other commitments to go on. So, and then they were runner-up in 2016 to Jordan, Minnesota, who was 3-time champion of this tournament. But the reason why, like you say, we bring up some stories with Wahpeton and LeSueur Henderson was a host, and they're playing in this tournament. Millbank, South Dakota, I remember that, because obviously we're having a weather situation now, and I think towards the end of the tournament, we had to move from Millbank, and I think we had to move to another place, I think that was just an hour away, because we were in a hotel, and I think it was Watertown, I think it was, we had to go to. So, this time of year, you run into the weather situations. It's always good to have a backup plan. So, like I said, we are in a rain delay right now. The kids are fine. We got them over at the high school across the street. If Jeff still got his third base camera going, we could probably click on that, and you could probably see the high school in the background. He doesn't. He took his cameras down anticipating the weather. The only camera that's going on right here is this one that he's got set up in the booth for the home plate. That's the one you're seeing right now. Excuse me. But right now, after 1 complete, it's Kaukauna 2, Valley City 1. Kaukauna sent up 6 batters to the plate. Gannon Vandenhay led things off with a single, and then was forced out at second base on a fielder's choice by Cody Gaber. Cody Gaber, of course, he reached on that fielder's choice. He was able to score. And Charlie Block flew out to right field. Cody Gaber scored on the single from Xander Hippus. He hit one out to center field, and then the center fielder let it get under his glove, and that's how runners were to advance. And then Matt Bartell reached on a base on balls, was stranded at first as Kyle Springstrow flew out for the 3rd out in inning 1. So that's how Kaukauna got their 2 runs. Valley City comes back, answers with 1 run as Ethan Miller led things off with a base on balls and was able to score via a sacrifice bunt from Alex Thornton And then Mitch Taylor grounded out to the second baseman, advancing Ethan to third. And then Braxton Jorson with a hot grounder up the middle was able to get the RBI, in getting Ethan Miller across the plate. And then Gavin Gerhardt struck out to end their half of the first. So right now it's 2-1 after one, and like I say, I don't want to say it won't be too much longer, and we'll start this thing back up. But already it's probably going to be in about an hour, folks. So if you got any chores that you need to do, like some laundry or vacuuming or dusting or anything in the house, which you've been probably putting off so you can watch your favorite son or grandson or nephew or favorite player. So right now it looks like our cell has finally reached Waupun and the rain is coming. And it's going to come down very, very hard because we aren't looking at blue and green on the radar. We're looking at orange and red. So this one's going to be a while because it's stretched from here to Columbus, which is not too far from Madison. So you're probably looking at 1 hour at least for a delay. No need to worry. Like I say, we took the fans and the kids and took them across the street into our high school. They're sitting in the commons waiting this out. Hopefully one of the assistant coaches, Sam Lenz, is part of the maintenance staff, and hopefully maybe we can turn those TVs on, and I don't know, watch a little TV. Who knows? We'll see. I'll leave it up to them how they want to kick back and entertain the kids. So, but anyway, we are in a rain delay, and we'll come back on the air probably when obviously we're able to, shortly before we resume. So, like I say, we're in a rain delay. Appreciate all the comments that we had earlier. Looking forward to those comments later on. So this is Jeff Taves along with Jeff Sauer. We are in a rain delay here at the Gus in Waupun at the Division II Central Plains Tournament. And it's Kaukauna 2, Valley City 1, after 1 complete, and we'll resume when this rain delay is over. Thank you. once again, I see we still have 11 people on the Facebook page as we're in a rain delay. It's real weird. The storm system kind of took its time. Derek Stanky, the head coach of the Waupun Legion team, and one of our tournament directors, comes over and said, well, let's go get the kids from the high school. I think we're still good. And just as the kids are walking over to come into the dugout, thunder starts rumbling, some lightning starts flashing. So, I don't know. Right now, it's just kind of a light sprinkle right now, so I don't know what the situation will be right now and how long it's going to go. So, Don, Diane, Becky, Melissa, and Sharon, we are still in a rain delay. The score is still 2-1 Kaukauna over Valley City through one inning. Derek Hertzfeld is pitching for Kaukauna, and for Valley City, it's Broden Muskie who's on the bump, and we'll see if they continue. Hopefully during this delay, they were keeping their arms warm and stuff like that. I'm sure before we get started that they'll allow the boys to kind of play catch off to the side and so forth. The kids are now back in the dugouts right now. They came out of the high school, and we'll see how things are rolling. I'm sure Derek's got to get a hold of the umpires too. At last I was talking with the umpires underneath the concession stand. One of them brought up like way back in, I want to say 2013 or something, Pratt, Kansas or something, where we ended up having the tournament delayed by like a whole day because of rain throughout the tournament, which pushed games further. So, but we have lights here, and because you have games, like one game per day, and like for example, Wapaton's already played, and if this gets delayed and so forth today, like this Valley City Kaukauna game, Kaukauna doesn't play until 3:45 tomorrow, and Valley City doesn't play till 11:15 tomorrow morning. So it's one of those, if this gets delayed, these two teams, they could still have a chance to sleep in, get some rest, be able to recoup. So like if we end up having delays and we don't get done until 11 o'clock or midnight, which could happen, it wouldn't be the kids that we really have to worry about being tired, and the coaches and so forth. It'd be the volunteers. I know I had a little trouble getting up this morning after things not getting done till roughly a little after 10 o'clock between Valley City and Waupun yesterday, because we had that rain delay before our opening ceremony after the Wapaton-Anago game. So, as you can see on camera, Valley City and Kaukauna, they're loosening up a little bit, hoping that they can get started again. And I know Derek Stanky's probably hoping that we're able to get this game squeezed in and before the next game between Viroqua and Anago. But Kaukauna's coming in. There was a one-hitter thrown against LeSueur Henderson, and Kaukauna was victorious 7-0, and right now lead 2-1 here against Valley City, who lost to Waupun 9-0 last night. So Valley City looking for their first W. Kaukauna trying to remain undefeated and stay in the hunt for the Division II Cross Plains Championship. Valley City last night was wearing their navy tops. Now they have their pinstripes on, their white jerseys. But glad they call themselves the Royals, not the Yankees, because looking at their jerseys is what it kind of reminds me of, but more of a navy blue. But I think even like the Yankees, it's not white with black. I want to say it's white with like a midnight blue, but I could be mistaken. I know as a person who went to college right on the border of Wisconsin and Illinois. You run into the Bear fans. It's their colors. It's not black and orange. It's like a midnight blue. So appreciate everybody hanging on and waiting, and hoping we can get this, like I say, get this game squeezed in. We are still in a rain delay, and I haven't got official word, that we're going to be starting soon. I'll get excited like a kid on Christmas morning when the tarp gets off the mound. That's kind of the signal from Derek Stanky and Bob Spanbauer, the head coach and assistant coach of our Post 210 Waupun Legion team. So, talking to one of the umpires, he said that he's got a friend of his that's down in Rockford, Illinois. Their corn isn't even knee-high, and it's past the 4th of July. I know there was somebody that posted from Wahpeton. I know they were hoping for some rain, too. So I know that's been a challenge. And I know the farmers around here, after we had our rain yesterday, they were relieved. And so it's just been one of these deals where we've had stretches for a couple weeks where it's been hot, humid, and no rain, and then we get a storm coming through, or we get like one of those rains that go all night long, and just enough to keep things green. Usually this time of year, people are buying ears of corn. I know there's one stand in the local area. I don't know what. I'd be curious to know what's. Right now they're charging $6 a dozen, and I think that's not a bad deal. 50 cents for an ear of corn. I don't know how good it is. I didn't buy any yet, but I like taking my corn, leaving the things on, and then grilling, and then you peel it, and then the corn kernels got like a nice light brown, and put a little butter and salt on it. So one thing I do like about latter part of summer is good old corn on the cob. So kind of curious to see those people that are still paying attention to me on Facebook, what their thoughts are as far as grilling corn on the cob, just corn in general. A lot of people have been asking, how's the summer, and I've enjoyed it. It's gone quite quickly. I'm a school teacher, so the thing is it won't be long, and we'll be back at her, and then I can start losing some weight again. One thing with summer is you're at home a little more often and tend to graze a little bit. I know there's a lot of people that could probably agree with me, especially like ones that are my age. I'm in my 50s. You sit there and you're maybe watching some sports talk show, and I know I'm one of those. When old Stephen A. Smith comes on, I usually get up and go do something else. I'm one that likes to listen to Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen. Now the thing is now I had to get that Peacock app on my cable. So, but anyway, we're back here in the Gus here in Waupun, and we got Kaukauna and Valley City kind of loosening up here on the sides. Rain is coming down very gently right now, so I think both kids from both teams are anxious to get started and just get something done. So good to see even some Waupun people on here. Nita Hartrink and Allie Batzler on watching. Now he's down. Jeff Sauer just said he saw some lightning, so we'll see. Right now, Jeff Sauer here right now just has the camera set up behind home plate. He's waiting before he's going to set up the other three. So right now we're just going to have to deal with this one, but that's fine. Better to be safe than sorry. I was going to say that's his camera equipment, not mine. I know yesterday he was out and about putting on a lot of steps, making sure his cameras were functional, especially when that storm yesterday, that cell turned around and reared its ugly head for about 35, 40 minutes. You know, he was wiping down his first and third base cameras. Just got a lightning alert on my phone. Lightning struck 4 miles from here, excuse me. So I don't know. Like I say, the cell that we've been looking at on the weather, you know, those of you that have any weather app, just type in zip code 53963, that's Waupun. Then you can get an idea of what kind of weather we're having over here, what weather we're going to get, for those of you that are weather junkies. There's always one in the family, and I know as a 6th grade teacher, I know with Waupun being 50% rural, I usually have a couple kids that live on farms and stuff, and I always have that one kid in class that he's a weather junkie too. You know, he's the one that can tell you how many inches of rain we got the night before, you know, where the wind was coming from, all that good stuff. Ooh, Shannon Marie with corn. Corn boiled in milk, water, and butter. Then you top it with butter and salt. Ooh, so instead of just boiling it in water, combine the water with milk and butter. That might soften it up nice. I don't want it too soft though, Shannon, but it sounds delicious. I had a friend of mine that he doesn't put butter on his corn on the cob. He puts, that sounds gross, but I'm not going to say anything. He puts mayonnaise. He spreads mayonnaise on his corn on the cob. I go, you got to be kidding me. He goes, oh, if you ever tried it, he says, it's good. So I'm like, ugh, you know, especially mayonnaise when it gets warm. It just has that, I don't know, more bitter taste. I don't know if I could do that. But definitely milk, water, and butter. Definitely I'll look into boiling that with than just water. That's what I usually do before I put the cobs on the grill too, though. Nothing like vegetables on the grill. I've been doing a lot of green and red peppers. I don't know. This summer's been a kebab year. I've been getting like the little tomatoes, and then I grill up some chicken, cut up some chicken. So, one thing nice about summertime, you can kind of experiment a little bit if you're one that likes to grill. I finally broke down this summer and got myself one of those smoker grills. After experimenting a couple weeks, then I got gutsy and put on a big old brisket. I had one of those days where I didn't have anything on the agenda. Got up about 6:30 that morning and got things started, and usually about 6:30 that night, after putting my charcoal briquettes and my hickory wood chips, it was a very delicious brisket. I'd used a nice dry rub on there, and the lady at the meat market said kind of keep it between 200 and 225, and she just figure about like an hour per pound. So, and my brisket was a 12-pounder. So, and it was kind of funny how here I'm grilling a brisket, and my brother, who hasn't been over my house for like 3 weeks to a month, just shows up randomly. First thing he said, "Oh, I hear you're doing a brisket." And I'm like, "Yes, I am." So he came over with some adult beverages. We just sat down and talked for quite a while, and needless to say, he stuck around to enjoy a little bit of brisket. Go figure. So, while we're waiting for either the decision to extend the rain delay or to start playing, any of you got like some good stories from this summer, like Shannon Marie did with corn boiled in milk, butter, and water, not just water? You know, if there's anything that you felt that you did that, you know, anything that you accomplished this summer. And if you're a person that likes to use a smoker, if you got any ideas on some future recipes, anything chicken, turkey, ham or something like that. I don't know. I'm kind of, like I say, getting kind of new at this. I'm one of those that gets on the internet and looks up different recipes and different techniques and things like that, because I'm one of those that like watches like the Food Network and watches some of these people put some ribs on their smoker, and or you watch those shows where these people go like God, who's the guy with the spiky blonde hair and the goatee? He's a pretty renowned chef, but he goes around to these restaurants and stuff like that that have all these kind of crazy food combinations or something around here. But or things that they're well known for. That's why I told the Wahpeton coach, the Wahpeton kids are going to be heading down to a Brewer game because they had the 9 o'clock game earlier, and Brewers play tonight at 6 o'clock Central Time and playing the Giants, and the coach says, I didn't care who they were playing. He says, I was just looking forward to a beer and a brat. And I just told him, make sure you put a little sauerkraut and some secret sauce on there and some onions. And he just said, well, I'm definitely putting the secret sauce on there. He goes, because that's what you guys are known for, right? And I go, you bet. It's kind of like if you go out east. I used to have a friend of mine that was out there, and we went to a Baltimore Orioles game, and at Camden Yards, they're known for crab cakes. Those were delicious. So every ballpark, and there's certain places that are known for certain things. Like Kansas City is known for anything barbecue. Just be nice to people right here, Valley City. Besides being the city of bridges, just wondering if there's any. If I'd be going to Valley City, what's one restaurant I'd have to stop by and get a certain food? I don't know, just trying to kill some time on this rain delay. Jeff's posting the link for the weather from AccuWeather. Right now it's 72 degrees here in Waupun. And we're in a rain delay, and I don't know how he's going to tag this, but I'm sure he's got a way. He's got the link already up there. It looks like he's going to post it. So, folks, you're going to have an idea of what weather is here and on its way. Appreciate those 27 people listening to me ramble on here during this rain delay. Right now, this game is 1 hour and 42 minutes long, and we only got one inning done. So, and Jeff's pulling up weather stuff, and we end up getting a catastrophic, devastating fire that leaves California town in ruins. It's not the AccuWeather link I think you wanted to post. Of course, up in the left-hand corner it says Waupun, Wisconsin, 72 degrees. The only thing I'm thinking is if you click on that, maybe you'll get the weather and the radar. So it's definitely changed a little bit. The humidity's gone down actually a little bit, and the breeze has picked up and the wind has changed. And heard from one guy, he was saying that the winds now are coming out of the east, and usually east means just steady rain and a long rain. And I hope he's incorrect. But if you look on the streaming here, Jeff's got it posted right now, and you can see that it's by Waupun. We just got some yellow and some green, but out west looks like we got a little bit of orange coming too, so we'll see if that gets to us. But basically one big mess down here in the southern part of Wisconsin. We've had some people that work out of town coming in this direction that were coming from the west. So, but once again, we are in a rain delay between Kaukauna and Valley City. Kaukauna Angels against Valley City Royals. This game is scheduled at 11:15, and of course now the time is 1:03, so obviously we're running behind. But this facility's got lights, and people in the area here, they understand that they live in apartments close to a baseball complex, so in the summertime they know that they might have to draw the curtains if they need to get to sleep tonight. But it is a Saturday, so maybe some of those people from the apartments will come out, and we got a 80s band playing tonight called The Wild Side. That might end up being a little delayed, or maybe they'll start jamming during the game. Who knows? But our other scheduled games for today will be for Rocco against Anago. Both teams are 1-0. Then we got LeSueur Henderson against Waupun. LeSueur Henderson 0-1, Waupun 1-0. So LeSueur Henderson was the team that Kaukauna defeated 7-0 yesterday in the morning. You had Kyle Springstrow with a complete game one hitter. Right now on the mound for Kaukauna, it's Derek Hertzfeld. So, and Hertzfeld has already given up a hit, so best thing you can do is match Kyle. Right now they're just warming up and chucking the ball around. I know our Waupun Little Leaguers that are bat boys, they're having a good time. Yeah, Guy Fieri, thanks, Sheila. Guy Fieri. It's always funny how he's back in the kitchen and so forth, and he goes, do you do this? Do this? And the guy's like, no, I do this and this. Oh, hey, could I taste it? Yeah, this is great. This is delicious. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, this has got to be a great job, man, just going around the country and going to these places in Texas and, for these barbecues, or going to these other places. So, I was one of those two that, used to watch Anthony Bourdain. He rest in peace. He was one that, he traveled the whole world. And maybe Sheila can go 2 for 2 on this one. I'm trying to think of the bald guy that used to go around the world and said, hey, if it looks good, eat it. And can't think of his name. But there's not a lot of things he didn't try. And he was, both Anthony Bourdain and this guy were big on, obviously we got differences with people all around the world and stuff, but the one thing that can bring people together is food. But, so I just sat back and I'm just like, wow, that'd be a great job. But there's certain foods that touch my tongue and all of a sudden I'm like, oh. So I don't know if I could. I'd probably end up insulting some chief of some tribe in some country or something. Next thing you know, I'm not coming back. The other guy I used to watch, Adam, he was Man vs. Food. Now I know he's not doing that anymore because he ran into some health issues. I used to be one of those that used to watch like Joey Chestnut and Kobayashi with those hot dog eating competitions. But now I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, but it just kind of grosses me out now watching these guys pound down 70-some hot dogs in 10 minutes. I'm like, ugh. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not a big hot dog eater anymore. I used to when I was a kid, man. I couldn't eat enough hot dogs. But those that are on yet, the 20 that are on the Facebook live stream, we are in a rain delay right now, and my partner Jeff Sauer is trying to post the weather on there for you on the stream, on his Jeff's live stream YouTube. And he's right now, I see it right now on my Facebook page too, trying to show you what we're looking at. A lot of dark green and light green and some occasional yellow and orange. So, but right now it's just a steady rain right now, but it's raining hard enough that probably not time to commence the game right now. So, hate to have some kids on the turf slip the wrong way and, you know, mess up an ankle or a knee. But these kids are all, 18U players, so the thing is they're probably going, let's go. A little rain isn't going to hurt. So, but we got to think of the other people too, the coaches, the umpires, and things like that. So, Kaukauna they're wearing their bright orange Kaukauna Angels jerseys. Kind of remind me of some old school Baltimore Oriole jerseys over there, especially their hats. They got the black hats with the white facade and the orange brim. But I know that's their high school colors though too, black and orange. When the kids aren't having angels, it's galloping ghosts. I used to live in Green Bay for 3 years, and I can remember coming through, and when I go visit my parents back here in Waupun, and we could always tell when we're going through Kaukauna and Little Chute and towns up in that area because the smell of money permeated the air. The paper plants up there. Little Chute, Grand Chute, Kaukauna. But a couple stories about that mascot named Galloping Ghosts. There's 2 versions up there. It goes back to the 1920s, so 100 years ago. You can see Derek Hertzfeld out there. He's anxious to get back on the mound and get started. I guess you can't see because right now we got rain delay and Jeff's got the weather posted. So we'll leave it at that. We'd rather have it that way, I guess. Hit the play button and it looks like it's going to go for a little bit longer. At least another 15-20 minutes. Because when he plays it, it stops at 127, and we're still in the middle of the green. So it's not the green I'm too worried about. It's that red and orange and yellow coming. And there's a big one out west there. That's the one that you got to kind of, But depends on if the wind can push it down to the south. Maybe, I don't know. We've been pretty lucky as far as this baseball field and so forth. Sometimes when weather systems come in, it goes right around us. So we'll see. But right now we're in game 2 of day 2. Kaukauna is leading Valley City through 1 complete inning, 2-1, even though the game changer says 2-0. Might have to talk to Sam Lenz, who's been doing the game changer. That's right, he had to run over, open up the school, so he has to get caught up. That's another thing, too. So if you're I've done this, too, before. Like, I'll listen to the live stream, and I'll have Game Changer up at the same time. So, I don't know. Just another visual. So, even though I haven't been here at the Gus this summer that much, as it's haven't been following along. Appreciate Jeff Sauer and his live streams throughout the summer and what he did to get things set up here for the Central Plains tournament. You should see the booth up here. It's, feel like I'm in a mini newsroom. But it's kind of cool, though. And then, obviously, when games start to recommence, and it's safe, the cameras are safe from the weather, Jeff will have the outfield cam ready to go again, and his first and third base shots. I know we had I don't know what game it was, today or yesterday. We used his first base camera, and he did a replay on a close play, and was taking a look at that on his monitor, and that looked pretty cool. So it's nice to have that instant replay feature on this YouTube streaming. So gives a little bit of a, almost like a professional flavor. But right now, here at Gerald E. Thompson Field here at 800 East Lincoln, right across from the Waupun Junior Senior High, here at the Gus, we are in a rain delay between Kaukauna and Valley City. I know there's some people probably popping on. This is Jackie Wester. Jeff, I couldn't get Game Changer to work last night. Is it under something other than Post 210 site? Yes, it is. Jackie, as soon as I get the information from Sam Lenz, I'll relay it back to you. But I think the thing is what they're doing is they I don't know if it's under the 2021 Central Plains tournament or something like that. I don't know. But when Sam comes back up to the booth, Jackie, I'll try to relay that to you. So yeah, it's under a different site. So it looks like Jackie's another one that's like I am and likes to follow things on Game Changer along with the live stream. You bet, Jackie, anytime. Jackie, one of our consistent Legion fans. You know, she had nephews that played Legion ball. Heck, I think this is one of the first summers I think we don't have a Buckles out there on the field. It's been a while. Because I know my youngest son played with Bryce, and then you had Jared out there, you had Malachi out there, you had heck, I remember back when Jason and Brandt and Corey all played Legion ball. So I think this is it's one of the, for those of you that are out there in other cities and stuff, I'm sure there's like these families that have brothers and sisters and cousins and stuff like that come from big families, and it just seems like there's always that last name that's on the roster. Oh, Noah Garrettson, that's right, great nephew. Yes, there we go. See, so the streak for Jackie continues. Some relative on the team. But I think, Jackie, wasn't it you that when we were in Millbank, South Dakota, was that you that won the raffle for a four-wheeler or a tractor or something, or a lawn tractor? Or if it wasn't you, who was it? Because I remember they had like this big raffle out there, and one of the people from Waupun ended up winning like either a riding lawn tractor or a gator or something like that. That was the grand prize. So, but when Steve Winterhack was broadcasting on the radio, we were talking about state tournaments and stuff, and the reason why I remember Nakusa is it seemed like the first 3 days, the only people that won, it's Rich Billy. Okay, he's the one that won it. Okay, all right, thanks, Jackie. I was trying to remember. But remember Nakusa, I think it was like the first 3 days, all the people that won the 50-50s were from Waupun. I remember winning a 50-50 raffle when we were in, I think that was in Millbank. Yeah. Donald Bauer with a shout out says, have a great game, Adam Bitts. Grandpa and Grandma are watching. It's always nice to have the grandparents on here. And it's nice to bring the game to you, because I know there's some of you that, back in the day, 7-hour ride, it's just part of the thing. But now, who knows? Especially now with this being a 4-day tournament. You know, that's 3 nights in a hotel for some people. So, but a lot of good memories. I'm gonna say even with my own boys with Legion baseball. And I know Jeff Sauer's son Caleb played for the Legion, and I'm sure he's got fond memories too with Legion ball, especially the success they had. Caleb last year was one of the super seniors that came back. And usually the common phrase from the super seniors, because they don't play spring ball, it takes a couple weeks to kind of get the rust off a little bit. And that was one of the questions I posed to Jaden White last night. He said, well, he goes, it's kind of nice that, you know, he has, you know, guys on the team that he gets along with really well. So he said, you know, it didn't matter, like, you know, they were just happy to have me back and contribute in any way possible. So, I mean, and it's nice to see Jaden White, you know, state tournament and this tournament, he was, you know, he's hitting the ball pretty hard. You bet, Donald. We enjoy doing this streaming. I'm glad you're able to put up with my babble. Basically, during this rain delay, I'm not like our local Brewer announcer, Bob Euchre, who's been announcing radio for the Brewers since their inception in 1970. He's got a lot more stories than I do. You know, he can talk about how he went fishing with Ted Williams or something like that, or Joe DiMaggio, or Bob Gibson or something like that, or Hank Aaron, but I don't have those. I've never been fishing with any of those guys. I did, you know, I'm glad I got a chance to meet Hammer and Hank Aaron one time. I went to a Brewer game, and I happened to be just kind of walking around, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Hank Aaron, and it's one of those I wish I would have had, like, back, you know, this, like, how cell phones are. I'd love to have a picture with them, but I happen to have, I had a program from the game, so I just had him autograph it. Now the thing is, I don't know where that program is. Should have, like I say, turned it to that page and just framed it. So, I'm sure it's in one of my storage bins in the attic or the basement. Thanks, Bill. We'll see what we can do about that. Says the sound is terrible and it repeats everything. So is it like an echo, Bill? Because I know, Bill, when I do the postseason interviews, that's why I got to have the mic up on my cordless headset, because there's just a little bit of a delay. But we have other people that are not having any problems with the sound. And at this end, I'm not getting an echo. I know there was a little bit of an echo before, so. Otherwise, sometimes, Bill, all you have to do is just log out and then come back in, and sometimes then that echo disappears. Thanks, Diane. Dickey, North Dakota. And Jackie said she can hear me loud and clear. All right, so kind of a mixed bag here of responses. So See how it all rolls here. I'm hoping that right now it's rain is still gentle rain right now, and hoping maybe we can start, but I don't know. We'll see how things go. I know Jeff Sauer has posted the radar on it. You might have to click on it or something like that. But we're hoping we can get this baseball tournament going again. Right now, I just see you right now over Waupun. It's dark green and light green. And it looks like the stuff that's yellow, red, and orange is kind of moving in a northeasterly direction. But I could be wrong. But if you just joined us, folks, right now we're in a rain delay, and our second game between Kaukauna and Valley City right now is in a hold after one complete inning. The Kaukauna Angels lead the Valley City Royals 2-1. In the top of the first for Kaukauna, Gannon Vandehay led off with a single. Then in batting second, Cody Gaber came up and grounded into a fielder's choice, and the shortstop flipped it over to the second baseman for out number one. Charlie Block came up and hit a fly ball to right field. And then Xander Hippus had a base hit to center field. And the center fielder went, while charging the ball went underneath his glove, allowing Gaber to score. Then Matt Bartel ended up reaching on a base on balls. And I can't remember how Xander scored. I think it was a series of some stolen bases and some wild pitches. And then Kyle Springstrow ended their half of the first with a fly ball to right. So Kaukauna, that's how they got their 2 runs. Valley City in the bottom of the first, Ethan Miller led off with a base on balls. Alex Thornton then sacrificed him to second. Mitchell Taylor came up, grounded to the right side to the second baseman for out number 2, advancing Miller to third. Then Braxton Jorison, the designated hitter, hit a hard grounder up the middle and drove in Miller. He was left stranded at first when Gavin Gerhardt struck out to end their half. So Kaukauna sent 6 guys up to the plate. Valley City 5. Your score 2-1 through 1. And I just saw one of our volunteers, John Sauer, go out to the mound, take off the weights. The 4-wheeler's coming out, and Eric Krieger, one of our other volunteers, he's got a set of 15-year-old twins, a boy and a girl, who just recently celebrated a birthday. Jake and JC, congrats to those 2. Jake looks just like his dad when he was back that age. JC looks a lot like Mom did, so definitely not identical twins, but 2 kids they can be proud of. Anyway, it looks like assistant coach Bob Spanbauer has brought out the 4-wheeler. They're going to have to sweep off the water off the mound, and then eventually John, Eric, and Bob will probably pull the tarp off. So it looks like we're going to get some baseball in. Other teams right now are just warming up on the side so the guys can do their work. And to all the people that are in those other communities, there's probably a reason why you're here, is because you got a great community that has a lot of volunteers that so willing to go the extra mile to make sure that these kids that are on these Legion teams have success. I know here in Waupun, as far as the baseball program, we got a lot of good people that have been around for a while. Those people from Waupun, they know about Sandy DeBoer. Sandy's in the concession stand right now, along with Karen Spanbauer and a few other people that it just seems like every time you go to the concession stand, you see one of them. So, I know, like Eric Krieger out there in the gray top and khaki shorts talking to his wife, she just seems like, and a lot of you parents probably understand, it's like when your kid is at a certain age, it seems like everything, the whole summer is baseball, and your vacations are circumvented around baseball. I know when my boys were playing, we went on camping trips, but it was to destinations where they were at baseball tournaments, so we usually found a campground that was close by. Those were a little bit cheaper than the hotels, but and I know my son, he didn't mind that at all. He says nothing like, because these tournaments, you maybe play 2 games at most on the weekends. And you play all weekend. You have 1 game on a Friday night, 2 on Saturday, and a couple on Sunday, depending how you do. But usually, like I say, we'd be at a campsite, and they get done playing, and, roast a few marshmallows by the fire, or whatever whatever food that we're making. I was a pudgy pie master. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, those devices that have that square ending or something, you fold them in half and you take like pie filling, and then you take like 2 pieces of bread, you butter them and stuff like that, and then you end up having like yourself like a homemade, I would take like blueberry or cherry or apple pie filling. Another thing I do too, though, is I would take the pieces of bread, and then you put like ham and cheese in the middle of it. Have a grilled ham and cheese sandwich. So those of you that have ever like been camping, you probably know what I'm talking about when I talk about these pudgy pies. There's probably some people that are out there going, I don't know what he's talking about. Pudgy pies? What? And it looks like big old number 44 from Valley City is having a fun time with the turf that's, a little bit wet. He ended up taking a ground ball and running real fast and then sliding, and I think he slid probably about 10, 12 feet. It's kind of cool. These guys, it's an 18U thing, but they're still young at heart. And when you're, on this sport turf that we have, it's kind of fun that, sometimes when you slide, it seems like you slide forever. That's why around here they, what Waupun players know is that if the guy is stealing, keep the tag on, because sometimes these guys are used to sliding a certain distance from the base. While here at the sport turf, you slide probably an extra 3 to 5 feet. And we got a lot of guys that from other teams that they slide past the bag, and because we hold the tag, we end up getting, caught stealing. We had that incident yesterday. I don't know which game it was, but somebody stole and ended up coming off the bag, and then somebody was able to do a sweep tag on the arm and ended up being out. And then speaking of stealing and stuff like that, not a lot of steals this tournament. That's hats off to the teams with their catchers. I know we got Cummings from Valley City, and then from Kaukauna you got Block. So the thing is with people, it's kind of a thankless position, the catching position, and sometimes you get a little spoiled with these catchers that are not afraid to go down and knock balls down in the dirt and keep the ball in front of them and prevent people from advancing. And anybody knows, if you can keep that runner on first instead of stealing second, that's an extra 90 feet during a base hit. And sometimes they get, left at third base at the end of an inning instead of scoring. So nothing more frustrating sometimes for a pitcher too when they want to throw that 59-foot breaking pitch and it gets by the catcher, So it can be frustrating. So it's good to see. We've seen some good pitching, some good catching. But just good defense overall. I mean, there's a reason why these teams are here at the Central Plains tournament. I look at the last game, La Crescent basically had one bad inning and it allowed their opponent Wapaton to score 8 runs in the top of the second, and that was the difference in the ball game. It ended up being 9-1. So hopefully, like I say, we got the tarp off, and the sheriff, Randy Armga, one of our umpires, he's our chief umpire actually for this tournament. He's the one that organizes the umpires and gets the different ones to come here to take care of business. Right now, the first 2 days, it's a rotation of Randy, Kent Vandekalk, Randy's son, Austin, and Paul or Pete Freeman, I think, is the other umpire. And the way it looks, I think tomorrow and Monday we'll have a different set of umpires coming in. Right now, we got John Sauer, Sam Lenz heading over to the front of the mound. Like I say, when Sam comes up here, we'll get him updated on the Game Changer, and then hopefully we can let people know that are following on Game Changer, especially the Waupun folks, what the other site is or whatever. Jeff Sauer right now trying to get things set up here so that way we can get things rolling. It's lightened up here pretty nicely. The breeze is still going from right to left field. But due up in the second inning for Kaukauna will be Owen Halls, the first baseman, number 28. Then the designated hitter. Now I just got to look at my writing here. Jordan Van Kawabi. And then Owen Mursaw. So 7, 8, 9 due up. Austin Armga, the home plate out there. Looks like he's ready to go, and here we go after a long rain delay. We're at the 2-hour and 17-minute mark right now, and Valley City has come onto the field. It'll be Broden Muskie back on the bump for the Royals. Going to get his warm-ups in. And once again, yeah, look at that. Sheila Cummings, she's ready to go already. Let's go Royals. And she's even got the blue heart after a few exclamation marks. She's pumped up and ready to go. Glad to have you back. So if you're, once again, just look for Jeff's with the apostrophe S live stream on YouTube, or check out Waupun Baseball video live stream on Facebook. Kent Vandekalk back at his post at third. Once again, Austin Armga waiting for Broden, Mr. Muskie, to finish his warm-ups, and Austin's dad, the sheriff, over there at first base, watching things. Kaukauna in their dugout, they're kind of antsy over there. They're ready to hit and get things going. Oh, did you need Valley Cities? Which? Oh, okay. All right. Okay, Sam, Jackie Webb. Wester wants to know how did she access the game changer. She gets on the post 210. And where is she? Okay. Hey Jackie, if you're still on, as Owen Halls is up to the plate, first pitch, a fastball to the screen for ball one. But Jackie, all you have to do is look up 2021 Central Plains, and there's some other verbiage, but if you start searching via that, you should be able to find it. So if you're one of those that likes to follow on Game Changer, just look up 2021 Central Plains tournament. And once again, we're back, and we're looking at, I believe, a 2-0 count right now to Owen Walls. Mr. Muskie with the pitch, and this one's low and in, 3-0. Oh, correction, 2-1. So it's a 2-1 pitch coming from Broden Muskie. And this fastball on the outside corner, the count's even at 2-2. Looks like whoever's in charge of the scoreboard is not back yet, so we apologize for the scoreboard not being up to snuff. 2-2 pitch, this one outside and away. Yeah, I'm the same way, Jackie. I like to follow along on Game Changer as I listen to the live stream. So that's the way I am too. Full count, 3-2 pitch, payoff. And this one's in the dirt. Nice block by Cummings. And he's got a little hitch in the giddy. He must have caught that one inside the thigh. He's feeling it. And Owen Halls is down to first base, the base on balls. And Jordan Van Kawabi is up. Cowenberg. That's my bad writing in the scorebook. So Cowenberg, yeah, there's my ERG under the DH. You try to squeeze, that's a lot of letters to squeeze into a small little scorebook. So I know, excuses are like armpits. Everybody has them and they all stink, as Jordan squares around a bunt, pulls back in time, and the ball is low. It's a fastball, 2-0. We are in the top of the second, nobody down, one man on first. We had a long rain delay, and at the 2-hour and 17 mark, we recommenced the ball game, and this fastball's outside. Broden Muskie not liking that call, but that was kind of over the chalk of the other batter's box. So you're not going to get that. You can be close. And this one was low. And on 4 straight pitches, Jordan Van Cowenberg reaches on the base on balls. And we got runners on first and second with nobody down as the 9-hitter, number 4, Owen Mursaw, the left fielder, steps in. It's 2-1. Kaukauna leading Valley City. Broden Muskie takes a deep breath, comes back on the bump, gets the sign from the stretch after a peek to second. Nice bunt, and he's going to go to third. And he got this one. The throw pulled the third baseman off the bag. Kent Van Kolk, the umpire, called it safe. So sacrifice runners safe all around. Bases are now loaded, and the top of the lineup is up. It's Gannon Vandehey, who is 1 for 1 today with a single. And he looks at a fastball high, ball 1. It's 2-1 here in the top of the second. Nobody down. Kaukauna threatening with bases loaded. And see if Broden Muskie can battle through this. As this one's a pop fly. If this gets camped under, it's going to be an infield fly. There's the call by Kent Vanderkolk. Infield fly. Batter is out. And Royals retire their first Kaukauna Angel. 1 down. Brings up the left-hander, Cody Gaber, who grounded in a fielder's choice. and scored later on a Xander Hippis single back in the first inning. So he's 0 for 1 with 1 run. Did a good job of hitting opposite field. I noticed the Royals have done a little bit of a shift here. Shortstop playing a little closer to first base. Shortstop for the Royals, Ethan Miller, playing closer to second. As the ball gets past Cummings, and the runners will all advance 90 feet on that wild pitch. And Kaukauna now leads 3-1. Count now 2-1 now to Cody Gaber. One down here in the top of the third, and this fastball is high and away, and the count runs to 3-1. Hopefully the Royals can get out of this with minimal damage, and Gaber will head on down to first base onto the third base of balls of the inning. Fourth one given up overall by Broden Muskie. It's kind of tough sometimes after a long delay to kind of get your rhythm back as a pitcher. But appreciate Broden sitting there trying to battle, not giving up. It's only 3-1, so all it takes is a double play to get out of this. Kaukauna only 1 run across right now into this fastball. Charlie Black swings and misses. Charlie Black with 1 home run already in this tournament. Back leg the fastball over the left field fence, probably about 340 feet yesterday. I was in the first game of the tournament where they beat LeSueur Henderson 7-0. He's the one that got him on the board and got the Angels going, and the fastball swung through by Charlie. It counts now even at 2-2. And this one's low and away, and the count runs full. We'll have the payoff pitch coming from Broden Muskie. We'll see if the runners will be going on this with 1 out. Sometimes you play a little conservative and not do it. As this one's thrown behind Charlie, and it gets a piece of his wrist or his forearm or something. He goes down to 1 knee. And you hope he's okay, because he's their catcher. He's been doing a good job. And they're going to get a courtesy runner for Charlie. And another run comes across on the hit by pitch. Charlie's going to feel that for a little bit. He's still rubbing his forearm. I know in baseball they say don't let the opponent see you rub it. And it looks like we might be having a pitching change. We have a courtesy runner number 12, and looks like we do have that pitching change for Valley City. So Broden Muskie goes 1 1/3. Like I said, sometimes after a long rain delay, it's kind of struggles to get your rhythm back, and it's going to be number 1 for Valley City pitching. Isaiah Schultheis comes in. Hope I pronounced that right. Broden Muskie was getting DH'd for anyway, so I have a feeling that now just Isaiah now just coming into pitch now. I know Isaiah had some fans out there from Valley City on the Facebook page, as our viewership is up to 35 now. Brings up Xander Hippis, who singled and scored back in the first inning. If you just joined us, Kaukauna leads now 4-1 in the top of the second with one down, runners on every single base. Charlie Block just got hit by a pitch, which ended the Broden Muskie pitching tenure, and the first pitch from Isaiah Schultheis is a strike right on the outside corner. So this is either an opportunity to kind of shut things down from Isaiah or for Kaukauna to break things open, and it looks like Hippis launches a high fly ball to center. Runner from third will tag, so the sacrifice fly for Hippis for out number 2 brings across another run. So now Kaukauna leads 5-1. Runners at first and second stay put. Hippis with an RBI. Brings up Matt Bartell, the 8th batter to come to the plate. It's 5-1 after a long rain delay. We are in the top of the second inning. Fastball on the outside corner, right at the knees. Nice pitch by Isaiah. We got 2 down here after that sacrifice fly. Runners at first and second base. Pitch from Isaiah. This one's low and away, and the count now is 2-1 to Matt Bartell, the Kaukauna shortstop, who reached on a base on balls and was left stranded at first base back in inning number 1. This fastball just missed. Cummings trying to pull the glove back to frame it. Counts now 3-1. This fastball drilled to left field. Left fielder retreats. It goes over his head into the warning track. This is going to bring around 2 more runs. And it's one of those line drives from Bartell that cleared the base, or cleared the remaining 2 runners off the bases as he's standing on second base with a 2 RBI double. And Kaukauna has broke this open. This line drive just kept carrying. And it brings up number 16, Kyle Springstrow. Last time up, flew out to right field. First pitch he looks at is a strike. Isaiah with the pitch, and this one is a high fly ball. And left fielder will, try to track it down, but not able to haul it in. And Springstrow and Bartell will trade spots with this 2-base error. Springstrow with that high fly ball, the breeze playing games out there for the left fielder for Valley City. Left fielder Adam Bitts, and that one tailed back into fair territory and hit off his glove. So the 10th batter now comes up for Kaukauna. Owen Halls, who led things off with a base on balls and scored eventually. It's one of those, the ball looked like it was going to foul territory, but then it curled back into fair territory, and kind of at the last second, and Bitts struggled and bounced off the webbing of his glove and landed in fair territory. Of course, with 2 outs, Bartell was taking off on contact. Springstrow is on second base. And Halls pops up to the right side. And foul territory. Not able to get hauled in by big number 44, Devin Thornton. Thornton gave a great effort. He had to cover a lot of ground. There's a lot of room over here in foul territory here at the Gus. I'm just glad he just didn't go into the fence too hard. Definitely some good field awareness by Devin. He's already back at first base. 1-2 pitch coming from Isaiah. And dribbled down to third base. This one's foul. Remember, it's where the ball is, not where the fielder is. It's not like football where you need the feet in bounds. Austin Arm got popped out of there quickly, made the call quickly. Foul ball. Count remains 1-2 for Halls. This is his second plate appearance of the inning. Reached on a base on balls and scored his last time up. Takes this fastball, hits this one. Great play by the third baseman. Fires over to first, but this one's errant. And this one's out of play, so everybody's going to advance a base. So, infield hit for Halls, but advances on the throwing error. Great play initially by the third baseman. Trying to see who our third baseman was here. Did I miss somebody here? Valley City's third baseman, Gavin Gerhardt. And this one gets by Cummings. Wild pitch. Advances the runner over to third. Jordan Van Cowenberg. Right now looking at a 1-0 pitch from Isaiah. This fastball flared out to right. This one's going to drop in and drive in another run. And a single by Van Cowenberg keeps the Kaukauna rally going as they have a snowman up in the top of the second inning and now lead 10-1. Kaukauna, the 2A champs of Wisconsin. Brings up left fielder number 4, Owen Mursaw. Last time up, had a sacrifice bunt and reached as he drills one to left field. This one's deep and back to the warning track. Left fielder Adam Bitts hauls this one in after covering a lot of acreage to end the Kaukauna half of the second as they bring across 8 runs. And at the end of 1.5, it's the Kaukauna Angels 10, Valley City Royals 1. Yeah, Mursaw just flied out. Yeah, absolutely. So in the Valley City half of the second, it will be Devin Thornton, the first baseman, followed by Joe Cummings, the catcher, and then Adam Bitts, the left fielder. Looks like Derek Hertzfeld is back on the bump for Kaukauna. Well, rain must be letting up a little bit. Got somebody with their big old black lab outside of the outfield running around. Just saw a guy in black shorts and a gray top and black shoes running past. Probably can't see it on the monitor as well as I can see it here at the field, but anyway, Devin Thornton now will step into the box for his first at-bat of the ball game. Hertzfeld asking for a different ball. Joe Cummings on deck. The pitch, curveball, and on the first pitch, Thornton will pop this one sky high, and the shortstop will take this one in short left field for out number one. So one pitch and one out right away for Valley City. Brings up Joe Cummings, the catcher. Pitch from Hertzfeld. Fastball up, 1-0. Adam Bitts scheduled to bat next. He's on deck. This one, Cummings swings, misses. Count now even at 1-1. Another fastball. Probably a little more comfortable for Hertzfeld, pitching with a 10-1 lead. We are in the bottom of the second inning. Curveball hit to the right side. First baseman comes over, hauls, ends up tripping over his feet a little bit, and the ball bounces and caroms out to the middle of the field. Cummings reaches first base. Yep, we got a sub here, number 12 coming in for Adam Bitts, left fielder. Robert Fisher, number 12, coming in. We are in the bottom of the second inning. Kaukauna leading 10-1 over Valley City after Kaukauna broke things open with an 8-run second inning. Couple base hits, couple walks, couple wild pitches, and before you know it, the Angels of Kaukauna put an 8th spot up in the top of the second. Hoping Valley City can bounce back and chisel at the lead here, make a game of it. This fastball's up, and Fisher will head on down to first base, and we got runners on first and second for Valley City. Tate Suffolcool now steps into the box, kicking it old school with the two-tone blue stirrups. Number 7, the center fielder, looks at a curveball inside. It's one down here in the bottom of the second. I know the scoreboard says the count is 4-2, but it's actually 0-1 or 1-0. Suffolcool fouls this one off, and it's now even at 1-1. Once again, like to thank the people that are on Jeff's live stream and YouTube, and people that are on the Facebook page, Waupun Baseball Video live stream. It's now 2-1 now to Suffolcool. Like I say, we always appreciate the fans posting and commenting and rooting for their favorite players and where they're rooting from. We've had somebody from Vegas, some people from Montana, some people from Nebraska. And this fastball tickles the outside corner, and now it's 3-2 to the 9-hitter center fielder, Tate Suffolcool. And he hits it to the right side and only plays at first for out number 2 as Suffolk advances everyone 90 feet. And it's 2 outs with both runners now in scoring position as the top of the lineup comes up, Ethan Miller, who is responsible for the only run from Valley City as he reached on a base on balls and then scored on a Braxton Jorison single after being sacrificed over to second from Alex Thornton. So shortstop Ethan Miller, the top of the lineup, his second at bat of the ball game, sees a curveball right down the middle for strike 1. Jeff Sauer getting the cameras reset. He's got the outfield cameras view as Miller looks at a fastball down the middle, and the count is quickly 0-2. Yeah, runners on second and third with 2 down here in the bottom of the second inning. This curveball, a swing and a miss. Miller goes down, and that is the second inning for Valley City, and the second inning is now complete after a long rain delay as Valley City gets no runs on no hits, and they leave 2, and at the end of 2 complete your score. Kaukauna 10, Valley City 1. Coming up now for Kaukauna here in their half of the third, it's the top of the lineup, Gannon Vandehay. It's his third plate appearance. Last time up, hit into an infield fly. This one, first pitch, fly ball to right, and that's hauled in easily for out number 1. Vandehay 1 for 3 today. Brings up the lefty, center fielder Cody Gaber, who's been on base both times via fielder's choice and base on balls. He's 0 for 1, but 2 runs scored out of the 10.
Center field camera, you can see that we got a little bit of rain still coming down. And I want to just give a shout out, make sure people are out there posting. Let us know who you're cheering for, your favorite players.
Even got some backstories already, like La Crescent, Minnesota. We found out one of the players is going to school to be a heavy equipment operator, and another one who I thought looked like a basketball player found out he was a cow wrangler. So you got some of these people that are into the sport of rodeo.
Some of those kids who are graduating, where they're moving on, if they're going to move on to school and if they're doing anything, or some of those that are super seniors.
Yeah, didn't we have somebody, I don't know which team it was, but someone was playing soccer for UW Parkside in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
UW Platteville, I think it was.
Well, one was heading to Platteville, I know.
That same kid was playing soccer.
Oh, okay, so UWP stood for UW Parkside instead of UW Platteville.
No, for UW Platteville. Yeah.
Oh, he played soccer for Platteville.
Yeah.
Okay, so playing a little D3 soccer.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with D3 as
Nope.
Cody Gaber heads on down to first base via base on balls for the second time in 3 appearances. Brings up catcher number 1, Charlie Black, who seems to be okay after being hit by a pitch in his last plate appearance. And Cody Gaber on the first pitch steals the second base.
Freaky fast. Jimmy John stolen
Jimmy
base.
John's freaky fast stolen base. Haven't had a lot of those this tournament. I was just talking about during the rain delay that we've had a lot of catchers that have been doing a good job defensively and haven't been able to have a lot of stolen bases. In the last game, we had one catcher gunned down 2 runners. I think that was our Wahpeton catcher. Lucy Forbes just says wants to thanks for this. She lives in Pennsylvania, but her grandson, Connor Coles, plays for Anago. So she goes, if it wasn't for you, she goes, I'd not been able to see him play. So thank you, kind sir. I appreciate that. Even the kind sir part here, I don't know what these other guys up here in the booth will attest to.
Neva Schultz cheering for Owen Hulls with the people from work. So we won't tell anybody that you're. Are you watching from work, or you just got the people together from work? Because hopefully you're not doing it while you're working.
Right.
None of us would do that.
Jacob Johnson, Mitchell Taylor is his favorite player. And
thank you for sticking with us through this rain delay. Obviously, you can still see when I've got the center camera popped up that it still is raining here, and you can see the umbrellas in the background. My center field camera is probably the best camera that I own, so I was doing everything I can to protect it. And obviously, that's why you can see the raindrops. Can't see them usually on the other cameras, except for the one on third base because it's full of raindrops.
Charlie Black ended up reaching on the base on balls, brings up Xander Hippis, who is responsible for one of the runs on a sacrifice fly to center the last time he was up. He also singled and scored back in inning 1. So actually responsible for 2 of the 10 runs. Scored once and drove in a run.
I want to give a huge shout out also to Scotty Van Galen for sticking with us and being here for the announcing, and for Sam Lenz for running the game changer. That helps us keep track of what's happening.
And also for Sam Lenz, who's part of the maintenance department here in the school district. He was able to open up the high school for the rain delay, so kids had a dry place to stay. So that was nice. It's always nice to have backup plans and people in the right places so we can keep this thing going. As Hippis with an infield single brings up shortstop number 10, Matt Bartell. Last time up, doubled and scored. He's 1 for 1 as Cummings is able to
what a block.
Knock this one down. He's got a little hitch in the giddy now because I think that one kind of caught him in the thigh because his shin guards were down.
Well, he had to get outside hard, and it hit that rubber artificial turf, and it bounced up and caught him. Yeah, I thought hip or thigh.
Yeah, that was a little bit of the thigh there, right above the knee part of the shin guard there. But that's what he had to do. But catchers are tough hombres, you know. Even though they wear the tools of ignorance, as they call them, they still get beat up back there. Usually sometimes, you know, when you're a catcher, you go to bed and you look, gosh, where did I get that bruise? Or you get up the next morning, take a shower, and you're like, where did that one come from?
Bases loaded full of Kaukauna Angels. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Number 10, Matt Bartell. He's 1 for 1, a double and a walk. And a run scored. Chance to... Oh, great play. Look at this. That one
doubled him up.
That's one of those sports
See if we got that on
Insta. Number 10, Matt Bartell. He's 1 for 1, a double and a walk. And a run scored. Chance to... Oh, great play. Look at this. That one
doubled him up.
That's one of those sports
See if we got that on Insta.
Play, where, you know, one of those Supreme Pizza from Tony's Pizza plays.
That was one of those football pizzas. That
big old football.
Reaching out for that.
Yeah, reaching out.
Slapping it down on the base.
Oh, yeah. That definitely help there. It keeps the score at 10-1, Kaukauna, because that one, if that gets by him, you got at least 2 runs scoring. Great play. Hopefully you were able to get the instant replay on that one.
I did have the instant replay.
All right.
All right, let's get a couple of ads in here for the sponsors that we got. Alex Thornton now up to bat for Valley City.
Once again, just a reminder, we do have 50-50 going around. Guys are walking out of the announcer's booth right now.
It looks like he had his first at bat, that it was a sacrifice. Here comes the pitch. Nice breaking ball, just a little bit high. Kaukauna with a 10-1 lead over Valley City, but here's an opportunity for Valley City to get rolling again. That's on the outside edge, according to Austin Armga behind the plate. That's a strike. And he's the only one that matters right now. He's the umpire, so he's the one that makes the call. Here comes the pitch. Right down there at the knees for the second strike. You can see the defensive setup with the Angels. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball bounced a little bit short. Looks like it snuck through the legs of the catcher. Hersfeld, the pitcher for Kaukauna. From the windup, here's the pitch. That's going to be hit out to the right side. Drops in there for a bloop single. And Thornton gets things started as the leadoff hitter is on base with a single for Valley City. Once again, let us know who you're cheering for. Your favorite players. Let them know that you saw the play that they made or didn't see because I had the camera in the wrong direction. But let them know anyways that you're still out there listening from the stretch. First pitch inside and probably a little bit high. Thornton over at first base. Thornton, sorry about that. There's the defensive set. That's also delivered a little bit high by Hersfeld. 2-0 is the count. Into Taylor. Right on the inside edge as Taylor has those toes up on the batter's box. So that was a good pitch in there. Right on the inside. Brings it to 1-2. Hopefully you can see up in the upper left the scoreboard camera. Throws the breaking ball, hangs up there a little bit high. Again, Thornton over at first base. Kaukana's defensive set. Ready for the center. Swings and misses and gets the strikeout. Oh, take that back. I thought it was... It does have 3 strikes up there. Okay. I thought I read that right, but I guess not. That one, strike 3? There we go. Now I got it right. So sometimes I lose track of the numbers. Taylor goes down swinging as Hersfeld delivered that third strike in there. Maybe the one was tipped before and I didn't see it.
Brings up number 13, designated hitter Braxton Jorison. It's the bottom of the third, 10-1. Kaukauna leading Valley City.
Kaukauna, the division or Double A state champion from Wisconsin. Next pitch is in there, delivered a little bit high. Thornton over at first base with a good lead.
This one popped up in the air right side in foul territory. And this one's caught by Walls over there for Kaukauna for out number 2.
Owen Halls over there. Yep.
Brings up Gavin Gerhardt, third baseman.
Halls was battling the raindrops, as you could see that they were causing him to.
Yeah. I think that was a situation for a couple plays this game already. We had a situation in left field where there was a high fly ball. And then also number 44, Devin Thornton. I know he ran quite a distance in foul territory, but I think he was looking up the whole time. Yeah, raindrops. You can just get that one that happens to hit the eyelash just right and mess you all up. So Gavin Gerhardt, first 2 pitches called balls, 2-0 count right now to the third baseman, who made a fantastic play to close the top half of the third. Diving stab on a line drive and then just tapped his glove on third base to double off the runner to end the inning. So that would, like, if this was ESPN, I would say that's my favorite one right there. Nicole McDaniel says, "Go Royals. My favorite player is my son, Tate Suffolcool. We are en route to Waupun today for the tournament." Good. That's
Excellent. And you'll be able to come down here and watch Wild Side.
Yeah. Our 80s
the 80s band.
Yes.
Come in and enjoy that. I don't think there's a cover charge, if I remember correctly. It is free. So
it's free, yeah. So
put the boys to bed and come on down.
Yeah. But
well, you tease them that they got to get up. They got to get up early for baseball at 9 o'clock.
And Gavin Gerhardt will head on down 90 feet to first base as he reaches on the base on balls. And Valley City now has runners on first and second with 2 down.
Also, a shout out to Tate from his awesome sisters, Breck and Kinley.
Oh, with a big heart emoji on there. That's a good size heart emoji, too. You even went with the red heart instead of like just team colors. That's awesome. So, glad
I'm sure he's going to be happy to see you guys get here and to get to see at least 2 games.
Oh, yeah. And we got a fastball high to our new batter coming in for Devin Thornton, number 4 for Valley City. That's Max Mayhus. So Max Mayhus coming in, getting a chance to contribute to the cause here. Kaukauna in the bright orange tops, white pants, and Kaukauna in the pinstripes, white jerseys. Yesterday they were
Valley City.
Valley City, excuse me.
No problem.
Yeah.
Bases loaded
And
now for
bases
Valley
loaded
City.
As Mayhus reaches on 4 straight. And all bases occupied.
You may notice the Bat Boys coming out there, and while we got a little bit of a coach's timeout here, I just wanted to make sure I gave a shout out to the Waupun Little League and to the Bat Boys. One of the things that's cool about this tournament that we host here is that they bring the Little Leaguers in to be Bat Boys, and the teams adopt them right away, and the boys work hard. They're hustling out there to get the bats. They get the catcher's equipment. Even had one in the last game who was helping warm up the left fielder. So that's awesome, and I'm glad. Thank you to the teams for adopting our Little League players and letting them serve as the Bat Boys. We really appreciate it. Looks like the conference is over on the mound.
2 down, bases loaded here in the bottom of the third. Valley City behind 10-1, but it looks like here's an opportunity as their catcher Joe Cummings comes to the plate. Chance to nibble into the deficit. And he fouls one straight back. He was sitting dead red, too. He was hoping to drive this one to left and couldn't quite keep the hands in on that one. So 0-1 count right now to Cummings.
Hersfeld on the deal.
And this one in the dirt. Nice job by Charlie Black. Scooping that one up and preventing a run coming in. It's 1-1, bases loaded. Pitch from Hertzfeld on its way. This fastball's outside. Hertzfeld with a weird look to the umpire, Austin Armgood, but that ball went right over the line of the other batter's box, so I don't think you're going to get that. So Brenda Schaefer is excited here. Bases loaded. Go, Joe. Count now 3-1. So Hertzfeld has to come to Joe Cummings, the Royals catcher. This fastball got enough of the plate, and the count is now full.
I think the other ones might have been a little bit low, looking at it from this angle here.
I think our catcher, Charlie Black, framed that one a little bit better than the last one. And this one, swing and a miss, and Cummings goes down. And Valley City leaves the bases loaded. And no runs come across in their half of the third. So the score remains after 3 complete. It's Kaukauna 10, Valley City 1.
Grounds crew is going to go out there and make sure the mound, because that was the one thing that we had the conversation about with the rain here. Our artificial turf drains really well. Now, you can play, obviously, on artificial turf. What you can't do is you can't use cleats on clay. And that mound is all clay. And as soon as it gets wet, it turns into figure skates. So you're skating around there. But they talked to Coach Thankey, and he said, we've got some stuff that can take care of that. So he's out there. You can see that they're raking away some of the clay BBs. And they're going to put down something like, I'm assuming, field dry or something like that that'll go on top of there to make sure that it stays dry so that our pitchers and stuff aren't slipping out there.
Right, and it's going right into the landing spot, too.
So the rest of the field will be playable. As long as we don't have any lightning, we should be good. As long as we can keep that mound safe.
Yeah, we were looking at the radar, and it looked like a lot of the stuff was moving south of us. So
awesome.
That would be nice, so we can.
All right.
So we'll see how things roll here.
Got a couple of ads I want to make sure that we get rolling here, and we'll be back for the bottom of the third, top of the fourth.
Yes. All right, welcome back to the Gus here in Waupun, Wisconsin here for our 2021 Division II Central Plains Tournament. It's 10-1 in the top of the fourth. Kaukauna leading Valley City. Valley City had bases loaded and couldn't bring anybody across in their half of the third. Susie Marsaw from Kaukauna says, thank you for the broadcast. Want to second the awesome effort by the Bat Kids. They're doing a great job. And speaking of Kaukauna, it's Kyle Springstrow that'll be coming up to the plate. He's 0 for 2 today. He flew out to right and reached on an error by the left fielder in the second inning as he takes a fastball inside, and it's 1-0. It's still Isaiah Schultheis still pitching for Valley City, and this fastball right down the middle, and this one will be hauled in by the center fielder for out number 1. Brings up Owen Halls, first baseman for Kaukauna. He looks at a fastball strike, but Owen's been on both plate appearances, reached on a base on balls in inning number 2, and then and scored, and then in the third inning reached on a single and scored. So Every time he's reached base, he's scored. So Kaukauna fans are probably hoping he can do this again for a third time. Count now 2-1 as this fastball's blowing away. And this one in the dirt, little 59-foot fastball on the outside. It's 3-1.
Schultheis.
And this one is skied high in the air. Center fielder converging, shortstop. Oh! Ends up doing about a 360.
Here
And
comes
Owen
the play.
Halls will reach second base. Once again, this one got way up in the air in the jet stream. And as we were talking about, those raindrops can cause a little chaos. And the shortstop went out to shallow left field and ended up getting turned around and took this one off the chest. And Owen Halls reaches on the two-base error.
You got to see there a little bit, too, of the AstroTurf as he came sliding into second, feet first, which you don't really see at Waupun kids do a lot of feet first. He was on his butt scooting right across the base, and luckily the second baseman was there and stopped him on the base. Otherwise, I think he would have slid all the way out into center field.
Number 7, Jordan Van Cowenberg. He reached on a base on balls and scored in inning number 2, and then reached on a single in the same inning. So we are in the 4th. 10-1 Kaukauna. This fastball fouled straight back into the netting, or right into the home plate camera. Count now 2-1 to the designated hitter for the Angels.
Schultheis throws that one a little bit wide.
Count now 3-1. That one I kind of figured would go wide. Schultheis kind of fell towards the first base side a little bit. I think guys are still conscious of the landing spot on the mound. That one a little bit better, but
That
our
one's in the gap.
designated hitter just reached down and gets one off the end of the bat and dumps it into left center field for a single, his second hit of the ball game. And Halls advances to third. We got runners at the corner with one out.
Just a little bit late with that. Nieva. As you said, let's go Owen. As soon as you post it up there, base hit.
Brings up Owen Mursaw.
Oh, I take that back. Owen's coming up.
Flew out to left his last time up. Reached on and we got a double steal attempt going on. And, ooh, a little collision at the plate, but Cummings hangs on. And out number 2 as they're successful picking off Halls, trying to steal home the plate. Nice job cutting that off by the second baseman and getting the throw to Cummings for out number 2. So the double steal, 50% effective. Van Cowendal in at second base, and Halls gunned down at home. Mursaw, a 1-0 count as he steps back into the box.
So is there 2 Owens? Is there an Owen Halls and
Owen
an Owen
Halls and
Mursaw?
Owen
Okay, so that's where my
Mursaw.
confusion
Yeah,
came
right.
up there.
And Owen Mursaw is up right now, and it was Owen Halls that just got gunned down at home plate. So just kind of like back in the classroom, Jeff, like when you're teaching and stuff, and you got like 3 or 4 of the kids with the same name. There's one year I had 6 Cadens, and they were all spelled differently. It was 4 boys and 2 girls.
Yep.
So found out 6 different ways to spell Caden. That was about 3-4 years ago. Owen Mursaw will head on down to first base with base on balls. Runners now on first and second with 2 down here in the top of the 4th. Brings up the top of the lineup, Gannon Vandehay, who this is his 4th plate appearance. His inning 1 he singled, and in inning 2, infield fly to the shortstop and then flew out to right in the 3rd. So he's been up every single inning. Streak continues as he looks at a fastball on the outside corner. So he's 1 for 3 on the day. Another fastball, tries to push it to the right side. And number 3, Michael Taylor, heads over there to try to, but it goes out of play. Oh, 0-2 pitch on its way. And this fastball drilled to center. Center fielder tracks this one down, hauls it in, and the Kaukauna half of the 4th, they get no runs on 1 hit, leave 2, and at the end of 3.5, the score remains 10-1, Kaukauna.
Ended perfectly.
All right, this is the bottom of the 4th. Valley City bringing up Robert Fisher, who came in the 2nd inning and walked and was stranded at second base in his last plate appearance. First pitch from Hertzfeld in the dirt, 1-0. Thanks for everybody that stuck with us after that long rain delay. It's still raining, but lightly, but enough to keep the ball game going. As you can see on the pitcher's mound, that the coaches put some diamond drag down there last half inning. Help with the landing spots, even though a lot of the players are still kind of, you see Hertzfeld, he's kind of grooming it to his satisfaction. 10-1 here in the bottom of the 4th. Angels leading the Royals, as Fisher will head on down with a leadoff base on balls. Brings up Tate Suffolcool, center fielder, who I know has some fans on the YouTube stream.
Nicole McDaniel on her way here. Stolen base right away.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the thing is Hertzfeld stayed in the windup. He didn't go to the stretch, so they couldn't have a chance to pick him off. So Fisher, he took off right away. He recognized it, so good for him. Now Hertzfeld in the stretch, struggling to find the strike zone all of a sudden. He walked Fisher on 4 straight, and right now we're looking at a 2-0 count to Suffolcool.
77 pitches.
And now runs to 3-0. Block heading out, have a little chat with his pitcher. Just trying to tell him to, hey, just hum strikes. We're up by 9, big guy. We need you. Hirschfeld. That was his 77th pitch that he threw. They're probably hoping that, he can finish and then save some arms for the next 2 games. I know.
Yeah, pitching is always at a premium here when you get to these types of tournaments.
Yeah, the thing is a lot of teams have a nice,
1 and 2.
1 and 2, but then after that, sometimes it's a pick from a hat. And as ball 4 is on the inside there for Suffolk, and 2 straight base on balls now, and it's Valley City creating a threat as the top of the lineup comes up when their shortstop, Chad Miller, who reached on a base on balls in inning 1 and scored the only run, and then struck out swinging in inning 2. So, and it was last inning that Valley City had bases loaded and left them stranded, so they're hoping a little change of fortune here in inning number 4. As we get a strike now for Hirschfeld, and you can kind of see his shoulders just kind of like he's finally relaxed after that pitch, like finally, So, and Marish winks, saying, "Hit that baby Tate." So probably talking about Tate Suffolk, who reached on the base on balls in the previous plate appearance. And once again, it's Ethan Miller, the shortstop, with a 1-2 pitch, looking at a curveball. Nice job by Charlie Block.
Wow.
Going out there to block it. He shakes his hand a little bit, because that was the hand that he got hit by a pitch on earlier in the game, so I'm sure there's still smarts. But he did a great job of sweeping his body out there. And this pitch nips the outside corner knee high, and Miller goes down looking this time for second strikeout of the ball game. 1 down, and it brings up number 10, right fielder Alex Thornton. He's 1 for 1 today. Sacrificed Ethan Miller to second base on a nice bunt to the pitcher last time he was up in the first inning. And then reached on a single in inning number 3 and ended up being one of the Valley City runners stranded with bases loaded as he hits one to third baseman. He takes it on the short hop, fires across the diamond to retire Thornton. But the runners do advance 90 feet on this. So nice play over there by Kaukauna's third baseman, Xander Hippus. And we have 2 down with runners on second and third. Brings up the number 3 hitter, Mitchell Taylor, who's looking for his first hit of the ball game. Grounded out to the second baseman in inning 1 and struck out swinging in inning 3 as he takes a curveball to left on the first pitch. He drives this one, and it gets run down by Owen Mursaw, baseman in and struck out swinging in inning 3 as he takes a curveball to left on the first pitch. He drives this one, and it gets run down by Owen Mursaw, baseman in and struck out swinging. Kaukauna. No shutouts. All right, welcome back, everybody. We are in the top of the 5th, and it'll be Cody Gaber leading things off. This will be his 4th plate appearance of the game. Kaukauna leading Valley City 10-1. And this pitch up and away for ball 1. Cody, every time he's been up, he's been on. Reached on a fielder's choice in inning 1 and scored. Reached with a base on balls in inning 2 and scored. Reached on a base on balls and was a victim of that great play by Valley City's third baseman, where he was standing on third base when he caught that line drive and then just reached over and tapped third base with his glove for the double play. So Cody Gaber, 3 plate appearances and on 3 different ways here.
Pulls that one foul.
And the count is 2-1 now to the Kaukauna center fielder. This pitch low and away in the dirt. Gaber steps out, checks the third base coach. Schulheitz in the windup, gets the sign, and here's the pitch. This one's up and away, and Gaber reaches base for the 4th time today with the 3rd consecutive base on balls. So here you end up, you're 0 for 1, but your on base percentage is 1,000. So I think he'll take that every time. Brings up the catcher, Charlie Block, who flied out to right in inning 1, was hit by a pitch and scored in inning 2, and in inning 3 reached on a base on balls. So we are in the top of the 5th. It's 10-1 Kaukauna, and Charlie ducks out of the way of that fastball, and Cody Gaber with the stolen base. Nothing Cummings could have done about that one.
Freaky fast, stolen base sponsored by Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's, freaky fast, yeah. Keep forgetting to say that. We said that a lot the last time we hosted. But like I said, this tournament, not a lot of stolen bases. This pitch, right on the outside corner knee high for a strike. Count is now 1-1.
Well, we're only into the 6th game of the tournament.
That is true. So got about probably 2 to 3 steals, maybe a game. But we've had our share of runners getting gunned down. Example earlier in the game where Owen Halls on a double steal attempt got gunned down at home back in the 4th. Charlie Block waiting for the pitch from Schulheitz.
A little bit high.
Count now 2-1 as that fastball is up above the letters. Runner on second base. Next pitch outside. Cummings does a nice job of getting his glove out there and snaring that one. 3-1 now. We are in the top of the 5th. Kaukauna leading 10-1. This game delayed for over an hour by weather, and Charlie Block seems to be a little upset that he's got to walk down to the base. 2nd straight base on balls. So he's reached base 3 out of 4 times today.
Courtesy, number 12.
And our courtesy runner for Kaukauna. Number 12, Brett Sprangers for Charlie. So Charlie can go back in and get his equipment on. It's probably why Charlie was kind of upset he got the base on balls. He wanted to hit one and run a little bit. And this pitch in the dirt. Cummings, it gets away from him, and both runners will advance 90 feet. They're at 2nd and 3rd now on the pass ball. Xander Hippus up, 2 singles so far, and a sacrifice. He hits this one high in the air. This one might fall, but no, center fielder able to track this one. Nobody will tag. And Hippus with the fly out to center for out number 1.
That was rather interesting, as he caught that on the artificial turf. You're thinking normally that's a second baseman's, but it was a smart play defensively to let the center fielder take it so that he could have his momentum coming towards home to stop that runner from coming in. So very great play, smart play there by Valley City.
Yeah.
And the center field, Suffolkul.
Yeah, nice job by Suffolkul, too, tracking that right away and getting his momentum going and communicating to his second baseman that he got it. I think that was kind of an issue yesterday a little bit, because I think it was Suffolkul and the right fielder that collided yesterday. I'm glad those guys are okay, but it looked worse than it was.
As far as we know.
Yeah, right. And the right fielder ended up still catching that, too. But talk about holding your breath. As this one is launched foul, out of play, left side, by the shortstop, Matt Bartell.
Really turned around on that one. Too much, actually. Pulled it hard.
And this one, fly ball to right, and they're gonna. Oh, I thought they were gonna tag the runner here, and this Bartell with the fly to right for out number 2. But I thought with these guys being up by 9, and you got the 10-run rule in place, they'd probably give it a shot.
That's what I was thinking too, especially here in the top of the fifth.
Especially, yeah, because it's okay to make the last out at home, but not the second out. I get that,
right?
But, so that's why I understand not tagging the last time. But
so Kaukauna is up 10-1 here in the top of the fifth.
They just need one more run and then hold Valley City in the bottom of the fifth as we get a ground ball on the first pitch from Springstrow.
Oh, booted!
And not able to hang on.
No, nobody's at home, and they could have sent the next runner home, and instead.
So Gaber scores on that play.
Oh, a huge
error.
Block
advances to third, and Springstrow reaches on the error.
Who gets that error?
Oh,
was the throw clean? It bounced there? Okay, I wasn't sure. I didn't see. I probably should have tried to hit the instant replay. But the way the instant replay works is it'll take the last 15 seconds of what was recorded.
So Springstrow reaches on the error. And Kaukauna leads now 11-1. Brings up Owen Halls, who's reached all 3 times, base on balls, single, and by an error.
Surprised the runner didn't take off from first. Now he's going.
And Springstrow in safely.
Cut off by the second baseman, stepping behind the pitcher.
Yep.
Runners at second and third for the Kaukauna Angels. From post 60?
Yeah, Valley City is post 60, I believe.
Kaukauna is 41?
I believe so.
I have to pop open the opening scene real quick.
Yep, post 41. Owen Halls with a 3-1 count now.
Where are we at on the pitch count for Schultheis? Is at 75 pitches.
75. He came in relief for Muskie after Muskie went 1 1/3. Ground ball to the third baseman. Nice scoop. Fires across the diamond, and they're able to get out of this with minimal damage. 1 run did come across on no hits. There was an error. And after 4.5, it's Kaukauna 11, Valley City 1. I'll be heading down to the field, so if Kaukauna is able to shut down Valley City, that'll be the end of the ball game, and I'll be interviewing some players and getting their take on the ball game.
So we're a little bit behind schedule, obviously, with the rain delay. So the next game was scheduled for 1:30 with Viroqua and Antigo, so 2 Wisconsin schools. One from AA and one from Single A. So we'll see what happens here. But Jeff Taves will head down to the field and get ready to interview. Unless something should happen here. Be interviewing somebody from the Kaukauna Angels, or a couple of players there. Is this a new pitcher for?
Yeah, it is, number 30.
Number 30, new pitcher for Kaukauna. Here in the bottom of the 5th, up to bat, Jorgensen. New catcher is Stuber. Oh, the new pitcher is Stuber.
Might have to click it over again. I don't know. Okay. Where's the headset? I got the money.
Stuber hits the batter. That's number 13 who wore that on the shoulder. See if I can figure out who that was. Number 15 is in for 4. 13 came in for 14, I thought. So 13 came in for number 14, I think. Number 15 is in. That's Gerhard in for Mersaw. Runner over at first. Number 9. Aren't we? What happened to... 8 was hit by pitch.
Never mind, we're in the 5 hole. You're right. I was looking at Kaukauna lineup.
Is that what I'm looking at here? Jeff gave me Kaukauna?
Yeah.
He did. Sorry about that.
Yeah, because I was like...
So 13 was still in. My fault. 15's in for 2. Apologize for that mix up here. Jeff handed me his book, trying to make sure that I can help keep that track of that. And that one's pop fly over to the third baseman for the first out. As Jeff heads down to the field as we get ready to interview players. That gets past the catcher. What time do they start playing? 7. So Stauber on the mound for Kaukauna, struggling to find a strike here. As Mayhews is batting for Valley City. can still see that it's still sprinkling a little bit out there. But we should be able to get the next game going, and hopefully we can finish that one as well.
All right, everybody, get out your 50-50 tickets. This one's for
So Mayhews draws the walk.
Stop at the concession stand, collect your winnings.
Runners at first and second. And the coach from Kaukauna is going to come out and have a conversation with the infield and Stauber. Saying that it's a little bit slippery here on the mound, is looks like what he was talking about. So a new hitter coming in for Valley City. A new pitcher coming in also for Kaukauna. It's going to be number 21. Hippus is going to be the new pitcher. And the new hitter is going to be, is that Espen Kunze? Yes. For Valley City. And once again, we like to do the on-field interview at the end of each contest. So we will, Jeff Taves is down on the field. In order for to do that, I have to switch over from my soundboard over to the wireless system, so I'll lose you for just a little bit, and we'll do a test to see if I can get a hold of Jeff, and then he will interview a couple of players from the winning team that he's selecting. So we'll have that. So stick with us as we get to the end of the contest there. Also continue to put those shout-outs out there on YouTube and on Facebook. We like to share those out there. The players love to go back and watch the videos afterwards. And they like to see some of the comments that are posted. We had a couple of people that commented in the first game that, yeah, they went back and watched the video last night. They thought it was pretty cool. Hippus now, 2-0. One out here for Valley City. On the outside edge for that first strike. That's got to feel better. Next one deals. Hippus hits that outside edge as Kunze watches it go by. Kunze ready. That's going to be up high on the Valley City hitter. Runners at first and second. Hippus ready to deal. Inside. And he walks him. So there's bases are loaded, full of walks.
He draws the walk. To load the bases. Brings up Robert Fisher. Suffolk on deck.
Robert Fisher now up. Hippus dealing quick here. Wants to get this thing rolling. Fires that first pitch in there for a ball. Right on the outside edge to Mr. Fisher. Here's the pitch. Hippus fires in there for a strike, brings it to 1-2. Bases loaded with Valley City runners. They need to push one across to keep this game alive. And Hippus gets the strikeout. Brings up Tate Suffolk with bases loaded down to their last out. Right on the outside edge for a strike. Here's the pitch. Just a little bit high and inside. 1-1 is the count with 2 down. Valley City all over the bases. The Royals trying to push another run across to keep this game going. Hippis wants a new ball. Two and 1 is the count to Suffolk. Right on the inside. Nice pitch. 2-2. Hippis going quick. And Suffolk goes down swinging, and that's going to do it here for the contest as Kaukana's going to win 11-1. So nice game there. Gonna switch over right now to see if we can get our on-player interviews on field. And thanks again for sticking with us as we were in that rain delay. We greatly appreciate your support, and hopefully we'll get back on schedule and you have the opportunity to enjoy the rest of the games. So let me get to the on-field wireless system.
11 runs, 8 hits. Time of the game, 3 hours.
Can you hear me, Jeff? I can't hear you. Is the microphone on? Can you hear yourself? Oh, hang on a second. Now can you?
Oh, Gary, there we go.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks,
All right.
gentlemen.
We're with, after a long rain delay, we're with the winning team, Kaukauna. They didn't allow any runs the first game and only allowed 1 run this game. So I'll start with the pitcher, who only allowed 1 run. And I want to know what he did during the rain delay, because sometimes it's really hard after a delay to get going again. So what did you do to help yourself?
I just tried to throw strikes and then make them put it in play, and my defense was there for me.
All right. Next is Jordan Van Kauenberg. 1 run, 2 for 2, 2 singles and a walk. Tell us how you were in the ball.
I don't know. I just did what I usually do. Hit the ball. It was my turn to step up to the plate, and I did what I had to do.
All right. Cody Gaber, even though he's 0 for 1, he had 3 base on balls and scored twice. So, Cody, anything you can add?
He just took advantage of bases and then taking advantage of the pitcher and his home a lot of bases, and that helped us out in the long run. So, yeah.
All right. Then Sander Hippis, 1 sacrifice, 2 hits, 2 for 3 on the game. Anything you can add?
We've been seeing the ball real well lately as a team, and Angels in 4.
All right, Angels in 4. Anything you want to say to the fans back in Kaukauna?
Who's home?
Be ready. We're bringing it back home.
Angels in 4. What he said.
All right, Angels in 4. Great job after the delay, guys. Thank you.
All right, and that does it for the on-field interview. Again, let me double-check Facebook and see what we've got there for some additional shout-outs, if there were some. So thank you again. We're going to get ready. Susie Mursaw says, go Kaukauna. And Marish Winks hit that baby Tate. So it seems like we had some fans back out there, so we appreciate that. We will be back on air in about 20 minutes. As soon as the mound is ready to go, we'll be ready for that next game between Viroqua and Anago. You've been listening to Jeff Sauer and Jeff Taves on Jeff's live stream. We appreciate your patience when we went through this rain delay, and can't wait until we can broadcast again for you guys tomorrow. So thanks again, and have a great day, and God bless.